Alright, let's come into Samastitihi. And we'll just find a standing position, an equal standing position, Samastitihi, equal standing pose, that allows you to find a neutral stance, one that's grounded and stable, but also light, effortless, and open. So you find that stability through the feet, rooting into the earth. And take a moment to really feel into that stability. And then feel that lightness, sense of effortlessness as the spine lifts out of the pelvis. The tailbone can get heavy to help you find that lightness. Feel the heart spreading and opening, the shoulders relaxing, the neck relaxing as you spread the base of the skull by drawing the chin back and down. And as the feet continue to root down, feel the crown of the head reaching up. If you want, you can close the eyes, take a couple of deep breaths here, allowing the attention to turn inwards, making the breath the object of your meditation. Noticing the breath moving in and out through the nostrils, filling the body, moving through the body. Let's bring the palms to heart center. We'll start with the opening mantra. You can join or just listen. Starting with an Om. Inhale, deep breath in through the nose. Vande Gurunam Charanaravindeya Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabodhe Nishreyase Jangalikayamane Samsara Hala Hala Mohashantye Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakrasidharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Exhale, bring the arms back down to your side. And we'll start with Surya Namaskar A. So come to the top of the mat. We'll start with the arms over your head. Palms touch, gazing up. Exhale, fold forward with a long spine, hands to the mat. Bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, half lift. Reach the heart away from the legs. Exhale, step back into a plank, shoulders over the wrist, lower the knees to modify, bend the elbows as you exhale. Inhale, point the toes, lift the heart from the floor any amount. Exhale into downward facing dog. You can go through tabletop or you can roll through the toes. As you reach the hips up and back. And we'll settle here for about 5 breaths, establishing the breath for the practice. So finding a smooth rhythmic breath in and out through the nostrils, matching the length of the inhales to the length of the exhales. So without forcing the breath too much. So don't force it to be a certain pattern, a certain length or pace based on some sort of expectation you have for the practice. Just kind of starting off with allowing the breath to be what it is. Making space for whatever pattern, whatever pathway the breath is following in this moment. Let's take one more here. Fully exhale. Step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale into half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand. Press through the feet as you reach the arms over your head. Exhale, float the arms back down to Samastitihi. Again, just like that, inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, fold. Keep the lower belly drawn in as you fold. Inhale, half lift. Root the feet down as you reach the heart forward. Exhale, step back into a plank. Stabilize through the shoulders and the core as you bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Maybe straightening the arms, but keeping a micro bend in the elbows. Exhale into downward facing dog. Settling. Maintain the breath. And gently incorporating techniques like Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha. You can start to feel into that energy moving up along the torso by drawing in just above the pubic bone. So just the lowest part of the lower belly is drawing in and up. Try not to suck the whole belly in, keeping the upper belly soft so that it can expand on the inhale. So you're just lifting the belly out of the pelvis to get that energy from the pelvis to move up towards the heart. Let's take one more breath. Fully exhale. Step or jump to the top. Inhale, half lift. Draw the lower belly in Uddiyana Bandha. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come to stand. Press through the feet. Drop the tailbone as you lift the rib cage. Exhale, float the arms as you reach up through the crown of the head. Inhale, arms over your head, palms touch. Wrap the shoulder blades. Exhale, lift up and over as you fold. Inhale, half lift, moving with the breath. Exhale, step or jump back. Tone the lower belly as you bend. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift the heart up as you press the shoulders down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come into the breath. Continue to incorporate these techniques for the breath to move within. Ujjayi breathing. Toning the vocal cords, the same action you would make as if you were whispering, except the mouth is closed and you're breathing in and out through the nostrils. And it's a gentle tone in the vocal cords. See if you're over-engaging the throat. This becomes a really subtle engagement that we can refine further and further. Releasing the muscles in the throat, releasing the soft palate. One more breath. Keep lifting the lowest part of the lower belly in and up. Fully exhale. Inhale, step or jump to the top. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand. Pressing down, reaching up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Let's take one more Surya Namaskar. Inhale, arms over your head, palms touch. Exhale, up and over. You can always bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Lower the knees to modify or don't. Inhale, lift the heart, reach back through the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Settling into the body, settling into the breath. Nowhere to go. The legs are strong, reaching the heels towards the floor, waking the feet up, and waking the hands up as you press through the hands and reach the sit bones up and back. It almost feels like you're lifting yourself out of the shoulders, so you're not collapsing into the shoulders. As you press through the hands, lift out of the shoulders, reach the sit bones up and back. One more breath. Fully exhale. Step or jump into half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to stand, press through the feet, tailbone gets heavy. Lift through the rib cage, lift through the shoulders, lift through the pinkies. Exhale, float the arms back down. Surya Namaskar B, and remember we're going to add some breaths. So say with me. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, really sink the hips low. Inhale, lift the arms and the heart, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward, straighten the legs as much as it's comfortable. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back, tone the lower belly as you bend. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, right foot forward, back heel down at 45 degrees. Inhale, come up to Virabhadrasana, gaze up. Exhale, frame the right foot. Inhale, high plank, step the right foot back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, left foot forward, back heel down. Inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana, gaze up. Exhale, frame the left foot. Inhale, step back into a high plank, stabilize. Exhale, slowly bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog or child pose. Sometimes slowing it down helps to build awareness to places where we're a little bit in the dark before. Maintaining that mindfulness through each movement, through each breath in the practice. Settling here. Notice where you're restraining the breath or maybe holding on to it, where there's tension along the pathway of the breath. Just noticing that. One more breath here. Fully exhale. Step or jump to the top. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees. Reach the arms up, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. So one more Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, reach the arms and the heart up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, come up, strong legs, press through the feet. Exhale, frame the right foot. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, bend the elbows, appreciating each moment. Inhale, upward facing dog, so we're not rushing through this. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, press through the feet and let that be what brings you up. Exhale, frame the left foot. Inhale, high plank, stabilize. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose. Come back into the breath if you lost that object of meditation. Notice that you've lost it, that you've become distracted, and just gently come back. As many times throughout the practice that you need to come back to the breath. Each time you strengthen that pathway back to presence, back to mindfulness. Settling. Just take one more here. Fully exhale. Step or jump. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees. Lift the arms. Exhale, Samasthiti. Good. Let's come into Padangusthasana. Bring the feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, folds forward with a long spine. So as the hips move back, reach the heart forward, catch the big toes. Let's take another breath in here. Inhale, press through the feet, reach the heart forward so you're really lengthening through the spine. And then exhale, keep lengthening as you fold. Keep reaching the heart, crown of the head towards the ground. Bend the knees here if you need to, as much as you need to feel that release through the lower back. So you're lengthening the muscles along the lower back and along the spine. Along the entire backside, really. You're lengthening the entire backside of the body. Keep the legs strong. The crown of the head gently reaching towards the mat. Let's take one more breath here. Fully exhale. On your next inhale, lift the heart up. Fully exhale there. Don't rush. Inhale, come all the way up to the top into Samasthiti. Top of the mat, feet together. Utthita Trikonasana. Inhale, step the right foot back. Exhale, pivot the right toes towards the back of the mat. Reach through the right arm so you're creating length as you move into the posture. And the right hand comes down to either the shin, catch the big toe. You could also bring the hand to a block or the hand to the floor. And then the left arm reaches up towards the ceiling, gazing up towards the left fingers. That's too much strain on the neck, gaze to the side. And if you feel a little bit of discomfort in the hip and the pelvis, you can allow the left side of the pelvis to sort of slide forward a little bit. And then move it back as much as it's comfortable. So as you move in, especially allow the left side of the pelvis to roll down. And then once you have your posture, you can press through the feet and start to gently move the left side of the hip back towards the front of the mat or back towards the left foot. That's easier to orient. Good. On your next inhale, let's come out of it. Press through the feet, come out of it. Pivot the feet, and you can try that on the other side. So as you move in, allow the right side of the torso to roll, of the pelvis to roll forward as you bring the left hand down. And then when you reach the right arm up, press through the feet, strong foundation, as you gently move the right side of the pelvis back towards the right hip. Good. So you feel like the feet are pressing down and away from each other. And you feel that the right side of the torso lengthening as you reach the heart and the crown of the head towards the front of the mat. Draw the lower belly in, checking with the breath if you lost that object of meditation. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale, come out of it. Pivot around for B. Square the hips and the shoulders. If you need a little bit of space to rotate into this, you can be on 2 parallel lines rather than 1 line with the heel alignment. So you can move that left foot out to the side a little bit. This also becomes a little bit more stable if that's what you need. Reach the right arm up, forward, and towards the ground, either to the outside of the foot or inside of the foot for a less deep twist. Reach the right arm up to move the torso into a twist. You could also bring the hand onto a block if the hamstrings are a little bit tighter here and it's really too uncomfortable to be with the hand on the floor. Pressing the feet down and away from each other evenly. As you draw the lower belly in, drop the tailbone and reach the heart forward. Notice if that back arch is collapsing, lift the back left arch. One more breath. Exhale, gaze down for balance. Inhale, come out of it. Exhale, other side. Move that right foot out to the side if you need that extra space. Reach the right arm forward and down. Left arm reaches up. Feel a sense of spaciousness as you move in, and then as you hold the posture by grounding through the feet and lengthening along the spine. Smooth, steady breathing. Draw the lower belly in, drop the tailbone, reach the heart forward and up. Smooth, steady breaths. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale, gaze down for balance. Inhale, come out of it, reach the arms to the side, squeeze the heels in towards each other. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, Prasarita Padottanasana, step the right foot back, feet parallel to each other, hands to the hips. Take another inhale here. As you press through the feet, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward with a long spine, hands to the mat. Inhale again, lengthen through the spine like half lift. Exhale, fold forward, but keep reaching the heart forward. So keep lengthening the spine as you fold into it. And once you reach a limit in the flexibility, then you start to relax the muscles along the back and the neck. And the hands maybe slide back if you have that space. Especially if the elbows are bent, you can walk the hands back a little bit. But wake up the hands, press the hands down and forward to gently pull the torso through the legs, if that's available to you. Always starting from the ground up, press through the feet, lift the kneecaps, draw the lower belly in. Maybe shifting the weight towards the tops of the feet. Let's take one more breath here. Long, deep, steady breathing. On your next inhale, straighten the arms, lift the heart, fully exhale. Feel the legs strong, the feet pressing, the tailbone heavy as you inhale. Come all the way up, exhaling at the top. Good. Now we're going to jump into C. Inhale, reach the arms to the side. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back or grab onto a strap or a towel. Inhale, lift the heart as you reach the arms towards the floor. Exhale, fold forward as the hands move away from the hips. You can bend the knees here if you need to, relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Allowing the shoulder blades to move away from each other. So notice if you have a tendency to squeeze the shoulder blades here towards the center, see if you can relax them. It kind of also feels like the top of the shoulders roll towards the front of the body. And then maybe even shifting the weight towards the tops of the feet. Drawing the lower belly in. Notice the breath, notice the pathway of the breath. One more here. Inhale, come all the way up to the top. Exhale into Samastitihi. Top of the mat, feet together. Good. Let's come into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. And we're gonna go step by step and stop anywhere along this pathway that works for you. So we're gonna start with the right leg, bring the left hand to your hip, shift into the left foot. And before you pick up that right leg, really focus on stabilizing to the left leg. So that means pressing through the foot, waking the foot up, and pressing through the leg so that you're not sinking into the left hip. You're not like dropping down into the hip. You're pressing down to feel this already from the beginning, this sense of lifting up. And then you're going to bend the right knee and on the inside of the leg, catch the big toe. And you can stay here, or you can start to gently straighten the leg. And as you straighten the leg, keep rooting through that left foot as you reach up through the crown of the head. And if you feel stable here, you can fold forward, draw the lower belly in, feel as if you're drawing that right leg back into the hip as you lengthen the lower back and reach the heart forward. Good. For 3, 2, spread across the collarbones. 1, inhale, lift the heart if you folded. Exhale, bring the leg out to the side as you externally rotate into the hip. So that means you reach the heel forward and the toes back. You can bend the knees here, the knee here if you need to. You could also use a strap around the foot, holding onto the strap. Again, press down through the foot, reach up through the crown of the head, draw the lower belly in, and the leg doesn't need to be all the way out to the side. It can be more at a diagonal if that's what the hips allow. One more breath here. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Find your center line. Feel the center line. Exhale, maybe fold forward for one more breath. Inhale, both hands to your hips, shoulders over the hips for 5. 4, press to the left foot, reach to the crown of the head. 3, relax the shoulders, relax the face. 2, keep drawing the lower belly in. And 1, release that. Good. Check it out if you need to. Other side, shift into the right foot and really feel into the stability of that right leg. It's like you're trying to find Samastitihi on the right side of the body. When you're ready, pick up the left leg. On the inside, catch the toe. You can already use that action counteraction to find stability. So you grab the big toe, pull on the big toe, lift the heart, press through the right foot. All those actions sort of support one another. Draw the lower belly in, relax where you can, straighten the leg if that's available. Exhale, fold if that's available. For 3, spread across the collarbones. Notice if you're collapsing around the neck and shoulders. 2, 1, inhale. Feel the center line. Exhale, bring it out to the side. press through the right foot as you reach through the crown of the head. Really feel that opposition. Feel it in your body. One more breath here. Feel the heel reaching forward. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, folding maybe. Inhale, hold the leg out. Hands to your hips for 5. 4, feel the backside of the body spreading. Shoulders coming over the hips. 3, 2, relax where you can. And 1, exhale, release. Good, shake it out again. All right, now let's do Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana. I'll give you 2 options. Well, maybe 3 options. You can do tree pose. You can come into lotus. So only if you're comfortable with the lotus, because when we get to the floor, I'm going to break down lotus a little bit more. But if you're ready for lotus, you can bring the outside edge of the foot towards the hip, wrapping the right arm behind the back, maybe catching the elbow or catching the foot. Or you can do flamenco pose, flex the right foot and bring the ankle over the heel, which is a really nice stretch for the glutes. Inhale. If you're either in flamenco or lotus, exhale, you have the option to fold forward, bringing both hands or just the left hand to the floor or onto blocks. So you kind of have to set up the blocks beforehand maybe, or have the blocks in your hands as you go down. Good. Once you're there, feel that strength in the left leg as you release along the torso, along the back. Deep, steady breaths. Feel the movement in the hip joints. One more breath here. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, connect into the left foot because you're going to press it down to inhale, come up with control. Exhale, release the leg, release the bind. Good. Left side, shift into the right foot. Tree pose, lotus, or flamenco. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward or stay standing. Both hands to the floor. Take your time. See if you can slow it down and control the way down, feeling that stability starting from the right foot. You could also just have the right hand on the floor with the left arm behind the back. Good. Feel the 3 corners of that right foot rooting down behind the big toe, behind the pinky toe, the center of the heel as the arch lifts. Sometimes you might feel a connection between the arch lifting and the pelvic floor. It's really subtle, but it's there. Breathing deeply, relaxing along the spine, relaxing the neck. One more breath. Inhale, lift the heart. Fully exhale as you root through the right foot. Maybe drop the tailbone a little bit. Inhale, come up with control. Exhale, release the leg. Good. Top of the mat into Samasthiti. Inhale, arms over your head, palms touch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's jump through to seated. If you aren't sure how to jump through, you can sink the knees to the floor, cross the heels, the ankles behind you, and sit back behind the feet. Straighten the legs, Dandasana. Feet are flexed. Heels are rooting into the mat. If you want, you can have the knees bent here as you press the heels down and towards you so that you feel like you're right on top of the sit bones. From that neutral position of the pelvis, feel the spine rising up, the heart lifting and expanding as the shoulders drop down the back of the neck lengthens so much that the chin drops towards the heart. The lower belly is lifting in and up, that lowest part of the lower belly, like you're lifting the belly out of the pelvis, but keeping the upper belly soft. So on your next inhale, feel that expansion at the upper belly, at the lower ribs, all around the torso. Feel that three-dimensional expansion on the inhale. And as you exhale, keep the heart lifting up. The legs are strong, the feet are awake. Following the breath at your own pace, observing its pathway. Let's take one more here. And releasing that for Paschimottanasana. Inhale, catch the big toes, keep the heart lifting up, keep the spine straight. Or you can have the fingertips on the floor alongside the body. And on your next exhale, start to fold forward, start to keep reaching the heart forward. And once you've reached the limit in the flexibility, start to relax the muscles along the back, slightly rounding the spine, but keep the imprint of the heart reaching forward within the posture. So the internal form of the posture is you're folding forward and you're coming into this like really safe position of forward folding, but internally you're also reaching the heart forward and you're keeping the heart open, you're spreading across the collarbones, and allow the breath to keep you connected into that internal form. Keeping the legs strong. No tension in the neck, no tension in the shoulders. Feel the source of the forward folds coming from deep within the pelvis. Drawing the lower belly and hollowing through the pelvis. Lifting Uddiyana Bandha. And that's what moves the energy up towards the heart to move you into the forward fold, rather than forcing yourself into it by pulling the feet or pulling the toes with the arms. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, release the feet. Let's drop the tailbone, so rotate the pelvis under as you bring the hands behind the hips. So you're really going to reach the sit bones towards the heels. And you can be here, we're doing reverse plank, Purvottanasana, but you could also do reverse tabletop, bending the knees and planting the feet. On your next inhale, you're going to keep reaching the tailbone towards the heels as you reach the toes towards the floor, and then start to lift the pelvis as you press the hands down and back into Purvottanasana. You can keep the chin tucked, or you can drop the head back. For 3, keep pressing through the hands. Keep the feet together, lift the pelvis, and lift the heart between the shoulder blades. One more breath. Exhale. Slowly come down. Good. Let's take a vinyasa. Cross the shins. You can roll over the ankles, bring the hands in front. Inhale into a plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through to seated. You can do that version I did before, or you can bring one foot forward, knees between the arms, the other foot forward, both knees between the arms, cross at the ankles, and you can drop here. You can keep walking the feet to pass the hands, and then sit down, straighten the legs. Good. All right, let's do Janu Shirshasana. A. Bend the right knee and let the knee fall over to the side. So if this is a lot of pressure on the knee, you can prop the knee up with a block or a blanket. Inhale, we're going to square the shoulders over the left leg. Exhale, fold. Again, you can catch the left foot, or you can have the fingertips on the floor alongside the leg. Keep the left leg strong, keep the left foot awake. As you feel all around the right hip, releasing. The thigh rolling back. Start to feel that opening from the side of the right torso all the way down into the right hip. Notice if there's something there that can release, that can soften, as you maintain the structure, the foundation of the pose through that left leg. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Fully exhale. Release the foot, and we're going to stay here, and we're going to move into Lotus. So to move into it, we're going to really break it down step by step. So first, drop the tailbone. So if you're right on top of your sit bones, feel your sit bones roll forward. Kind of come into this slouching position. This is just going to put the pelvis in a position that makes it easier to move into the external rotation. And then you're going to catch the lower part of the leg with your palms facing up. Catch underneath the calf, underneath the foot. And you're going to pull the hands towards you. So imagine like you're moving the lower part of the leg into an external rotation, because you want both the lower leg and the upper leg to move into that external rotation. Sometimes that can help alleviate any compression in the knee joint, which is really common in Lotus. So gently pulling the leg towards you to encourage the lower leg into external rotation. And you're going to pull the heel towards the navel. And as you do this, closing the knee joint and then placing the outside edge of the right foot as high up as you can on the left leg. And don't force it, just wherever it sort of naturally goes. And then as you start to place the foot down, move that right hip forward. So a lot of times as we move into this, we scoot that right hip back just to kind of create some space. But as you finally place the foot down, pick up that right hip and move it forward. And then once the foot is down, the knee comes towards the floor, you sit back up straight. So you come out of that tailbone tucked position. You come and you sit back onto the sit bones and you sit up straight. So now just kind of checking in, make sure that the hips are in line. So you moved that right hip forward. Depending on the proportions of your legs, the knee is going to be pointing somewhere like at a diagonal, like 45 degrees. It's going to vary from person to person. And then if you want here, you can sort of find a little bit of an internal like integration by drawing the right knee in towards the center. It's a really like subtle adjustment that you can make internally. And if you have any pain in the knee joint, then just allow that right foot to kind of slide down the leg. And if it starts to come towards the knee, you can flex the foot instead of point it. You could also place something underneath the knee. Sometimes by bringing the knee too down, like allowing the knee to go towards the floor too much, can deepen it in a way that doesn't feel good. So you can prop the knee up with something. And now for the bind. So we're gonna help ourselves a little bit to get to the bind by twisting. So you're gonna twist the torso towards the right knee, and maybe even using the left hand on the right knee to kind of move you into a twist. This is just going to bring your arm closer to the lotus foot. And then inhale, lift the right arm up and over, and as you start to bend the elbow, keep the elbow lifted. It's going to create a little bit more space in the shoulder. Keep the elbow lifted and then reach the right arm up and over. So you want to keep that right arm like high. As you reach over with the palm down, catching the big toe side of the right foot. And then once you have the bind, you can let go of that left hand and then square the shoulders forward. So if that's too much to catch the foot, you can place a strap around the foot, grab onto the strap, or just have the right arm behind the back. All right, now finally for the forward fold, inhale, catch the outside of the left foot or fingertips on the floor, and then exhale, fold forward. Keep lifting that right elbow so you keep spreading across the collarbones, squaring the shoulders over the left leg. And then you could even have that internal action of drawing the right knee in towards the left leg. And that kind of activates something a little bit in the inner thigh, which I think is really interesting to connect you into the pelvic floor. Okay, let's take one more breath here. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Fully exhale. And let's take a vinyasa. If you like, you can cross the shins, hands in front of the hips, and pitch the shoulders forward to lift up, and then maybe walk the feet back. Step or jump back into plank, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through to seated. You can bring the knees between the arms, cross the ankles, and bring the legs through. Let's do the left side. Janushirshasana A, bend the left knee, let the knee fall out to the side. Inhale, square the shoulders over the right leg. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe you'll feel a little bit of a lengthening through the left side of the body here as you square the shoulders over the right leg. Keep the right leg strong, keep the right foot awake. It's the foundation for the pose, it's the ground for the pose. And then keep the heart reaching forward. Don't close the heart. Just take one more breath here. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale. Good. Come out of that. Let's come into the lotus. So remember, drop the tailbone. So you get to like slouch a little bit here, just to move in. Palms facing up, catch underneath. Gently pull the lower leg towards you, gently encouraging an external rotation. Closing the knee joint, heel towards the navel, outside edge of the hip, towards the right hip crease. Lift that left hip, bring it forward so it's in line with the right hip. And then as you place the foot down, let the knee end wherever it ends. So don't force the knee towards the floor. Just let it be wherever it is. If the floating is giving you some like discomfort that doesn't feel good, then prop the knee up with a blanket or something. And then if you want to go for that little twisting trick, you can catch the left knee, lift the left arm up and over. I kind of like to lead with the elbow as you internally rotate the shoulder, so the thumb points down, and then reach, keep the hand high. So don't go from under, go from above, palm facing up, catch the big toe side of the foot. Square the shoulders forward as you release the knee if you're doing that. And then inhale, catch the outside of the right foot or fingertips on the floor. Exhale, fold. Moving into any variations that you need. If you feel any pain in the knee joint, then just come out of it a little bit. Or maybe you just don't fold forward. Maybe you stay up, because when you fold forward, sometimes that deepens the lotus in a way that doesn't feel good. Keep that right leg strong. Maybe feel that right knee drawing in towards the center. That may or may not be available to you. Feel the connection of that right foot into the pelvis. Deep, steady breaths. Let's take one more here. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale there. Good. Let's cross the shins. Inhale, lift up or roll over the feet. Exhale, jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through to seated. Let's do some Navasana just for fun before we do some more hip stuff. So bringing the knees together, starting with the tippy toes on the floor, and you're just behind the sit bones. Drop the shoulders, lift the heart for 5. Toes on the floor, toes lifted, or straight legs. 4, 3, deep breaths. 2, 1. Cross the shins, bring the hands in front of the hips. You can either keep the feet lifted or bring the feet to the floor. Pitch the shoulders forward, press through the hands, lift the hips. Exhale, come down. Again. 5, 4, deep breaths. 3, 2, 1. Cross the shins, hands in front of the hips. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross the shins, hands in front of the hips. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through to seated. Let's come into Baddha Konasana. So bring the feet together. Bring the feet as close as you can in towards the body. And find a straight spine. We'll hold the first with the straight spine for a few breaths. You can allow, if this is available to you, the outside edges of the feet to touch as the feet open like a book. But wake the toes up. So like flex the toes, open the toes. And then as you pull on the feet, so you're catching the tops of the feet, use that to help you lift the heart up and drop the shoulders. And then feel the lowest part of the lower belly lifting up so that you have a really strong foundation starting at the pelvis. And that foundation is helping you find an effortless straight spine. Just settle in here to a couple more breaths, feeling that expansion of the rib cage all around as the inner thighs release. And before you go any further, if your knees are lifted off of the ground, a little trick here can be to place blocks underneath the knees. And even though at first this may seem like counterintuitive, that placing blocks underneath the knees will stop you from going deeper, really what you're doing is you're supporting the knees in a way that allows the inner thighs to release. So if the knees feel supported, the inner thighs feel like they can release and therefore lengthen, right? So we want that release to happen because we're really stretching the inner thighs here, which is an important part to have open and flexible for Lotus, which is why I wanted to work with Baddha Konasana. Another way that we can sort of like trick the inner thighs to release is by bringing the hands to the thighs, and then you're going to press the hands down into the thighs, and with equal force, lift the thighs back up into the hands. So from the outside, no movement is going to happen, but you're really activating here. So you're pressing the thighs up and pressing the hands down. Good. For 3, 2, so the inner thighs are really working. And 1, release that. Good. Release the inner thighs. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. So press the hands down and press the thighs up for 5, 4. Sometimes somebody else could also do this for you from behind. 2, 1, and release. Good. One more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release that. Good. Now if you want to put the blocks underneath, you can, to help release the inner thighs. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, let's fold forward with a long spine. So reach the heart forward towards the floor. You can keep the hands on the feet with the elbows in towards the ribs, which is more of the conventional way, or you can reach the arms forward onto your fingertips and really reach them forward to feel length alongside the torso. And as you reach the heart forward, keep dropping the tailbone towards the floor. Even if the sit bones are lifting a little bit, that's okay. Draw the lower belly in. Feel the belly lifting out of the pelvis towards the heart. Deep, steady breaths. One more breath here. Inhale, walk the hands back. And now for B, we're going to move the feet away from the body a little bit. So we're not in a full diamond shape, but we're somewhere in between. And now we're going to drop the tailbone around the spine and bring the forehead towards the arches of the feet. I like to catch the tops of the feet and point the elbows out. And press through the feet to really drop the tailbone and round the spine. Rounding the entire spine from the tailbone all the way down to the top of the neck. All the way through the head, the crown of the head. All that rounding, curling. Breathe deeply into the backside. The backside of the body is so available here. Remember to use this as an opportunity to wake up the awareness in the backside of the body. Send the breath there. One more. Inhale, slowly roll up. Good, let's take a vinyasa. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through to seated. Exhale, let's lie down on our backs. Inhale, bend the knees, plant the feet so they're parallel to each other, aligns with the outside edges of the hips. And let's inhale. I'm going to talk you through bridge pose first. As you exhale, reach the tailbone forward and the knees forward. Inhale, press through the feet and lift the pelvis up. Notice how I broke that up into two parts. In the bridge pose, you can catch the ankles or interlace the fingers. Letting the knees come in towards each other so they're not splaying out. They're in line with the hips. As you reach the knees forward, lift the sacrum up. Feel the front of the body lengthening. Deep breaths. See if you can spread the lower back, spread the backside. Notice if the glutes are squeezing in towards the center, the glutes can be on, but try to not let them squeeze in. One more breath here. And as you exhale, roll down the spine from the top, making the sacrum the last to touch. Good. Inhale, deep breath in. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, reach the tailbone forward, the knees forward. Inhale, lift the pelvis. You can also come into full wheel pose, full Urdhva Dhanurasana. Wherever you are, you're spreading the back side and lengthening the front side. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale. Last one. Exhale, tailbone forward, knees forward. Inhale into bridge or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Deep breaths. Notice the pathway of the breath. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale, slowly roll down. Hug the knees. Let's rock up to seated. Inhale, lift up to jump back. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, jump through. Let's take a forward fold to release the spine. Inhale, catch the feet. Exhale, fold. Good. Another option to release the spine here is to bring the feet together into a diamond shape and fold forward there. It's also really nice to release the spine, the shape. Stay connected to the breath. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale, come up. Good. Let's take a vinyasa, cross the shins. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, just jump through to seated. And let's try, we're going to do the last 3 postures. We're going to work our way into full lotus if that's available. So same technique that we used for half lotus. Drop the tailbone, let the sit bone slide forward so you're kind of slouching. We'll start with the right foot, catching underneath with the palms facing up. Draw the lower leg towards you, heel towards the navel, outside edge of the foot towards the hip. Stay slouched, and now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. The only thing is we can't close the knee joint as soon as we could on the other side. So as soon as that left heel passes over the right calf, close the knee joint as soon as you can, and you bring the heel towards the navel and the outside edge of the foot towards the hip. And then sit up tall. So the sit bones slide back again. And then maybe try gently squeezing the knees in towards the center. Good. Okay, now let's come out of that. So slouch again, come out the same way you came in, and now let's try the other way. So left leg first. Keep the tailbone dropped, close the left joint, the left knee joint as you pull it in. Close the other side, catching from underneath, both legs, and then sit up tall. Maybe squeeze the knees in towards each other. And if you always do the right leg first, this might feel really weird. It does for me right now. It's good though to switch it up. I think that brings balance in the body and mind. Okay, now if you can stay here, you can go back to the other way if you prefer. And if it's not possible to be in full lotus, you could also just be in half lotus with the other foot tucked underneath. Inhale, wrap the arms behind the back. Maybe you bind onto the foot. So if you're binding, the arm that comes, so the foot that is in the lotus first, so if you put the right leg into lotus first, the right arm will bind first. If you put the left leg into lotus first, the left arm will bind first. And then the second arm just goes on top of the right arm of the first arm. Sorry if that was confusing. We're all tangled up here. Inhale, deep breath in. If you're not binding, just grab onto opposite forms. And exhale, fold forward. Good. Take a few breaths here. If you want to place the head on a block, because the floor is too far away, you can do that. Following the breath in and out through the nostrils. Keep the techniques of Ujjayi, of Uddiyana Bandha. Stay with the breath. Just take about one more round. And at the bottom of your next exhale, fully exhale, empty of breath, rise up. When the shoulders come over the hips, inhale. Release the arms and bring the wrist towards the knees, the pointer towards the thumb. And keep moving the breath at your own pace. Feel the sit bones rooting into the earth. Feel the spine rising up, the heart lifting and spreading. The back of the neck lengthening, the base of the skull lengthening as the chin drops. The tailbone is heavy as you lift just above the pubic bone, lifting the belly out of the pelvis. And dropping the tailbone helps to kind of find that sense of scooping in and up through the front of the pelvis. And as you inhale, feel the upper belly, the lower ribs expanding out in all directions. This takes practice, this takes attention and mindfulness. But keep looking for that sensation. Feel that sensation of expansion through the inhale. Toning the vocal cords without over-engaging the throat, releasing the soft palate. Sometimes it helps to bring the tip of the tongue just behind where the back of the teeth and the roof of the mouth meet, and allowing the rest of the tongue to relax down to the bottom of the mouth. So you can feel the tongue releasing and relaxing down to its root, relaxing the root of the tongue. Sometimes that helps to relax muscles in the throat that don't need to be engaged for ujjayi, that just create tension throughout the whole body. Just take a few more breaths here at your own pace. Fully exhaling on your last round, releasing that, and we'll finish with uputihi. So you can stay in lotus, or you can undo the lotus and just cross the shins. Bring the hands next to the hips, pitch the shoulders forward, and to lift up, you're going to feel like the shoulders come forward and the hips move back and up. So inhale, lift up. 1, 2, press through the shoulders. 3, 4, 5, keep pressing through the shoulders. 6, 7, lift up. 8, 9, 10. Exhale, release. Good. Let's do one final vinyasa. If you want to go from lotus, you can rock up to your knees, bring the hands in front, bend the elbows, and if you need some extra support, you can bring the elbows in towards the navel, so you can lean into the elbows. Eventually you want to do this without leaning into the elbows, so keeping the elbows on the sides of the torso, but do what you need to do. Bring the chest forward, lift the knees, straighten the legs into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's come into final resting pose, Shavasana, lying down on your backs and doing whatever you need to do to get comfortable. Taking up as much space as you need to, closing the eyes. Completely relaxing, letting go of effort, letting go of technique. Releasing judgment, releasing assessment. Releasing any intentional movements of the breath. Making space for the practice to integrate on a deeper level. Start to deepen the breath. Feel free to stay here longer if you'd like. If you're ready to move out, start to wake up the body. Small movements. Inhale, reach the arms over your head for a full body stretch. Inhale, deep breath in. And exhale, side out if that feels good. Falling over to either side of the body. And slowly making your way back up to a seated position. Let's take a final moment here in a seated position. You can close the eyes if you'd like. Releasing the tension behind the eyes. Releasing the tension in the throat. Feeling all that tension dissolve down into the space of the heart. Offering up the fruits of the practice to anyone you might cross paths with today or not. Offering the fruits of this practice so that it may be of benefit to others. Let's bring the palms to heart center for the closing mantra. You can join me or just listen. Swasti prajabhyaha paripalayantan nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhyaha shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thanks everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for practicing. Hope to see you soon.